Hey everybody, welcome to Geeksvana Live. We are here again for day 2 of the DroneX trade show and conference. It's been a really interesting second day actually. We've got out to meet a lot more of the exhibitors today and been playing with some very expensive drones and equipment, frankly, hearing about some fantastic products and services out there, which I'm very excited to bring you all news on, etc. So hi to those of you joining us in the chat for this day 2. We're also joined today by it's Stephen Sutton of the Flyby Guys.
Hello.
How are you today, sir?
I'm good. I'm kind of exhausted.
You raise your volume a bit.
I'm kind of exhausted, but
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
You've kind of like jet setted across from Finland, and you haven't stopped since, have you? Really?
No, I haven't stopped. I haven't even had lunch.
Yeah, same. Yeah, you'll be going home to have a rest, frankly, won't you? You're going back to work to have a rest, as it were.
Back to have a rest, yeah. And you, how's it been for you?
Yeah, it's been interesting actually. It's obviously a very unique experience from the point of view of live streaming from somewhere very different. As you can see here, we're live on the floor, and it's it's been a challenge. Obviously today's stream has been a bit later than I wanted it to be from that point of view. But yeah, it's been a technical challenge, but it's been very, very interesting. Obviously, it evolved the contact list a bit more as well, which is good, which is always good. And yeah, there's so many amazing products here, so many amazing services.
And so many people as well. It's been great to see so many people.
Yeah, it's been good to actually, press the flesh, as it were.
Yes.
Or press the virtual flesh, as we've all still been separate, keeping that COVID separation going, etc., and keeping things safe from that point of view. But we have been speaking to some very interesting people actually today. We've got a couple of those coming up for you today to show you a couple of the products examples that have been here. I am actually going to have another live show towards the end of the week to show more of the products and more of the interviews from here, including very soon, probably tomorrow, we'll actually have an interview with the CAA, with Jonathan Nicholson there, where we talk about sea-label drones, which I think is going to shock a lot of people what he had to say, and also takeoff and landing permissions. Directly from the mouth of the CAA, as it were, from the communications side of things. So I'm really, really excited to bring you all that. So I'm now going to play a little video quickly of another certain gentleman that we bumped into, which is actually Ian from London, Ian in London. And I bumped into him and had a little chat. So I just need to get this one playing. Bear with me, people. Wandering around the halls of DroneX while I'm sat down at the moment, and look who I bumped into. It's Ian in London. Hi, Ian.
Hello, Sean. How you doing?
I'm really good, thank you. It's been an interesting couple of days. Obviously, our first live shows out of the studio, etc., always extremely scary and that type of thing. But one of the great things is we've been getting to catch up with people in person and meeting you for the first time, etc.
Yeah, no, first time in person. It's actually been quite good. But no, it's been an interesting day, I have to say. Shame it's not more prosumer orientated. Certainly if you're in high-tech aerial industry, there's a lot of stuff for you to see here, but your average man in the street, no. Yeah. There are some very interesting, there's some monster drones out there.
Did you see the Swedish ones?
Yes. Yeah, he wants me to go over and do a bit of a test flight over there. I said, next year maybe. Yeah. So, but
on his insurance.
Yeah. Crumbs, that would be it.
Our first response to when we went over there was actually to say, okay, so what's the real scale? This is obviously a scaled up model of the drone, but then you see the camera and it's real.
Fuel, aircraft fuel as well. That's it, I said, are they the batteries? No, they're the fuel tanks. That's where we put the actual petrol in. Yeah. I'm like, okay, flying bomb.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. A huge flying bomb as well. Yes.
But it's been very good. It has been good to catch up. But yeah, it's a shame that I think there's a huge section of exhibitors and the public, and obviously they want footfall through the turnstiles, and they're missing out on a lot. I know. Every man and his dog flies a DJI drone. Absolutely zero on that here. Maybe rightly, maybe wrongly, but either way, you need to have some level of, as you say, prosumer draw that will bring in more of the masses as opposed to just high-end niche consumers, which is what an awful lot of, in fact, pretty much all of these stands are.
And it is an interesting world to step into, and it's been great for making new contacts and finding out about all sorts of exciting products like the Anarchy Labs Air HUD that we've both had to play with, etc. It is fascinating.
And also, some of the training schools. Where are the training schools here? I was talking to one guy from one of the training schools. He was down here in his personal capacity. His company isn't here. No other training company is here. And yet, you know, okay, the A2 is obviously very consumer level, but the GVC and the additional stages, that's getting to the stage where, you know, these levels are used by some of these people.
Yes.
And again, it's trying to bridge, you know, you need that bridge between the mass consumer and the highly specialized niche electronics companies, which is frankly what some of these are.
Yes.
And
Yeah, exactly.
a lot of them are actually prototypes or in development, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
you need a bridge. You
You
do
do,
need a
you do,
bridge
that's
to make
right.
it more appealing to everybody. A couple of people have recognised me, I've walked around, we've had a nice chat. They tell me what they're flying, and of course they're flying either an Autel or a Mavic 2 Pro or something like that. So a lot of these guys still fly consumer, prosumer level drones.
Exactly.
And I think a lot more people would have come to this event if there had been that element of draw.
Yeah.
And as I say, a bridge between the consumer and this highly specialised.
No, I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. And it has been a very fun show, but it has been an interesting walk on the wild side. Certainly for the normal stuff that I talk about, frankly. So, but yeah, it's fantastic. Now, for those of you that are watching the live stream, this is obviously pre-recorded before the live stream. But those of you that are recording the live stream, you're on telly tonight. Or your drone footage is on telly tonight, which frankly for us drone flies, the drone footage being on telly is more important than you being on telly.
For me, no, I have to say I'm pretty happy, pretty chuffed, yes. Iceland with Alexander Armstrong tonight, Channel 5 at 9 p.m. The first episode is on the volcano.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a very fun chance meeting whilst I was in Iceland, how I actually got my leg in the door, so to speak. But yeah, ultimately, I think tonight, I haven't seen the full episode, but if there's lots of flowing lava, and especially if you're looking down on it, that's my
one of your
footage.
shots.
It's one of my shots. So that's
Very
quite
cool,
nice. So,
very cool. And if you want the full story of actually how the meeting with Alexander came about, go back to the live stream that was on Geeksvana with me and Ian a few weeks ago and watch that, because it is an interesting one, actually. Yeah, it is funny. It is one of those. So there we go. That was Ian in London. Now, there is a little backstory there, isn't there, Stephen?
Yes,
The fact that what was happening over here off camera whilst I was recording that interview.
well, I was trying to put Ian off.
Not very professional, is it?
No.
You know, we're here slaving away, trying to bring these people fantastic content, and you're there making dancing actions and waving your arms in the air, trying to put Ian, who is the consummate professional.
Yeah, he would have done the same for me.
And he no,
For sure.
Well,
For sure.
well, I'm not sure. Well, one of the products that we've seen here is actually, we were talking yesterday about Anarchy Labs and their AirHUD system. And one of the other products here is also using the HoloLens from the point of view of being able to help with the future planning of airspace use, which was very interesting. And we spoke to them yesterday, actually, but here's a couple of minutes. We're here with Matt Bannum of Tech Tower. Is that how you pronounce your company?
Yeah, it's Tech Tower. We couldn't get a domain with the E, but yeah, we're one of those groovy, trendy companies with just the R, drop the vowels.
Yeah, indeed. It works. Could you tell us a bit about, very much, this is my first experience of Tech Tower. Who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, sure. So basically, we started in December 2018. My background's mainly in safety critical, safety assurance, but I've also been involved in software development products, 4D, 3D, CAD/CAM. And we are currently showcasing an early demonstration of our SimTwin capability, which is a simulation as a service environment whereby, let's say I want to build all these amazing air taxis and drones, and they need to basically have being operating in the same airspace as fixed wing. How do we make sure it's safe? So we've got, and how do we go to planning, town planners and architects, and start to build this stuff and design it? So I looked at what my son was doing with Call of Duty and Fortnite, and he's got all his friends are into sport and music, and they're happily different disciplines get together in the same virtual environment.
Absolutely.
So why can't we do that for aviation? Like seriously, why can't we do it? So we've built this 4D environment whereby you can actually put drones and have data from fixed-wing aircraft and actually watch them and see if they're safe, see if their interactions are safe. We predict where they're going to fly, monitor their flight plan, model use case scenarios, and then inform people like the Civil Aviation Authority of the kind of rules that we've deduced. The product itself, typically we've got architects who are interested in it, we've got infrastructure builders who are interested in it, we've got all manner of people that are now starting to understand the context of it.
Okay, so one thing which is starting to be a hot topic within the drone world is UTM, Unified Traffic Management, and very much how we get everything to swim together in the air. And my hobby drone, and the fire services drone, and the urban air mobility, etc., everything else like that. So is this something that UTM companies would use for end users to actually physically use, or is this more a planning tool?
So this particular tool, SimTwin, is very much the planning and simulation domain. But so it is a platform. So we will have, on one end, we'll have data providers providing data. So it isn't just our data or models, because we recognise we can't do it all. And then on the other end, we'll have customers who actually want to consume that data and actually visualise and render. Now, we also are involved in 2 UK future flight projects. The other project is a project called Flighty Plan, which we're working in collaboration with Oxford Uni, Cranfield, NATS, IAG, Altitude Angel, who are obviously one of the biggest UTM up-and-comers. And exactly to answer that question of how do we get this working efficiently and effectively for unmanned traffic. So we're developing a distributed ledger blockchain technology whereby you'll be able to file a drone mission as if it's a flight plan, basically, and then it will go out in the correct form to all the relevant parties who need to know that information. So we're hoping that our 2 big R&D projects will help bring this to life. We want to make this real for not just all the industry partners, but also research organisations and indeed the public. Because at the end of the day, if we're not doing that, then there's almost, if we're not actually serving the needs of the end user, then there's almost the kind of, well, we failed our mission.
Yeah, exactly. But it is interesting to see the SimTwin from the point of view that this is something that's going to help on the planning side of things, because of course it's very easy to plan a village. You need this many shops, you need hospital places, you need school places, everything else like that. But to plan a modern city, which is going to be smart and it's going to have urban air mobility and drones flying everywhere, etc., it's a really good tool. We're seeing a lot of UTM, very much like your other project. We're seeing a lot of those type of projects, but we haven't seen enough, in my opinion, of this kind of thing. So it's great to see from the point of view of actually this is going to help us plan for those things, because again, if you can plan for something and you can demonstrate how it's going to work, as you're saying, with the end users and the public, you're going to have less fear.
Yes.
So we're going to have more air users sharing the space, frankly. So that's fantastic. So what stage is it at the moment? So is it actually out with clients?
So we are at a kind of pre-alpha stage at the minute. It's very early days.
Always a fun stage.
I mean, to be fair, I'm immensely proud of my team, because really they've been slogging at this for only really a few months. To bring the data services to life, and my head architect David, I think he's behind me at the minute. He's really worked incredibly hard to bring this to life. So we've taken 1 or 2 use cases that through our industry partners and Heathrow and NATS and that they are looking to see if we can model those types of use cases, and we're putting that together. But we will get to an early commercialisation probably around about summer 2022, with then a roadmap to 2023 and then eventually 2024. That's currently it. But our goal really is at TicTower is to really just, 1, bring this to life, 2, make it real and make it really simple. That's almost why, but also make it safe. That's why we say safe, secure innovation. That is literally what we do.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Thank you for your time.
But that's an interesting one, because obviously, as I say, we were playing with Hanu from Anarchy Labs' air HUD system, which everybody, if you saw the stream yesterday, I was sort of trialing it live for the very first time, and just amazed at this interface that was there. And again, they're using the HoloLens technology, but you're able to actually look and plan from the point of view of, you can actually see where all the airways are, how they're intersecting, how there's going to be unmanned mixing with manned and that type of thing.
Well, I think that there's definitely some collaboration there. We actually spoke with them yesterday when we first arrived, and they seen, AirHUD, and we had a look at theirs, and there is some sort of complement there, and we'll see what happens in the future.
My wire going down across my shoulder there. You can tell this was we had a few tech problems before this went live, so I didn't actually get to hide my wire properly, but there we go. I just noticed it like a little spider web coming down the sun. It's going back there now as well. So yes, we have another one actually here, which was actually Plymouth Technologies, and this is a very serious bird, very serious company. They're very kind of us to take some time out. Ben, who's head of their R&D, which was a really interesting chat actually. Some of the drones that Plymouth Technologies are developing are incredible, frankly, and a lot of them are actually bespoke as well. He was telling me. Yeah. So very much for joining us. It's a pleasure to be here. This is obviously one of the we've walked past your booth a few times, and it keeps catching our eye because, of course, you've got these awesome, huge drones here. But who are Plymouth Rock? Why and why are you guys here?
So Plymouth Rock Technologies are preliminarily a UAV manufacturer. So we design and manufacture bespoke UAV systems for demanding applications. Now we have clients worldwide in a range of different industries, from inspection and research, counterterrorism, security, surveillance. But what really makes us different is our ability to design and manufacture in-house to our client requirements. So although we have today our three sort of core products with the X1, the X Lite and the XV, we also have the ability to completely start from scratch, break the mold, and design to suit.
Crikey, and hence I suppose that's why you count amongst your clients defence departments and this type of thing, because of course you're able to be that bespoke basically, because of course there are so many projects out there that need something that's absolutely designed to reach that use. What kind of, with the large wing here, what kind of missions etc. would you expect this type of drone to be used for?
So for the XV here, we typically use for long range surveying, almost always beyond visual line of sight.
Yes.
Absolutely needed for something of this size. Surveillance, monitoring, particularly areas of interest for security, but also for long range mapping, typically security as well.
Excellent. So a client could approach you that has, oil pipelines, that type of thing, and you would work with them to either make something like this work to their case use, towards their use case, or, as you're saying, literally design something bespoke to actually fit their criteria, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're currently working on a 5-meter version of this, which is flying out in Kazakhstan for 400 kilometers for exactly about oil pipeline monitoring out there.
400 kilometers, that's
400
amazing.
kilometers beyond visual line of sight.
That's incredible. I mean, the sheer mission parameters of that are just mind-boggling, but also, of course, the cost effectiveness of that this is something which is carrying out those inspections in a green way, of course, but also a cost-effective way, because one aircraft in the air for that amount of pipeline inspection is phenomenal. Do you, Plymouth, also design and is the entire machine bespoke as such? Is the software you use your own? Do you manufacture every part, that type of thing?
So we have lots and lots of different options available to us, and it really depends on the client requirements. So if we're typically supplying the three-letter agencies, everything has to be sort of US, NATO, coalition approved, indeed. All the rest of the NDAA compliance. However, if we're looking at some of the smaller scale projects, we can get away with using some foreign components, make use of some existing technology that already exists. We tend to get a lot of help from the open source community as well. I strongly believe that there's no other systems out there that have had anywhere near as much flight testing, development work or anything.
No, yeah.
Obviously they have a time and place for their use, then they're not appropriate for every project, but we can make use of an awful lot of equipment that's available.
And of course that also counts from a manufacturing point of view of the UK, because of course Plymouth are now have taken over Tetra drones. Was that right? Yes. And of course, which is a name that people in the audience will recognise, is a British manufactured drone. So again, those in this country that have those concerns as well, they have that coverage from the point of view that Plymouth Rock is a British company as well as being an American company, essentially in manufacturing terms.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tetra Drones was originally my company. I sold the company to Plymouth Rock Technologies back in June.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Back in June of this year. So that gives it a real strong brand presence now. So we've got two facilities in the UK. My R&D facility, along with the guys at Lincoln in Lincolnshire. Then our main manufacturing facility over in Norfolk at Kings Lynn. Then the mothership, the headquarters, is based out in Plymouth, Massachusetts, near Boston, over in the United States.
Superb, great. 400 kilometres, it's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Stunning, absolutely stunning.
And they had a few other drones on the stand as well, of varying sizes, and these things are really serious beasts, frankly. And
the workhorses, yeah, they're just workhorses.
Yeah. I mean, and Ben from Tetra Drones is now Plymouth Technologies. What a fantastic story! Because of course he's developed Tetra Drones, and now he's been bought out by the huge Plymouth Technologies, and he's now head of R&D there, and getting to really roll out his projects and roll out those aspirations with that backup. He was saying, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. But 400 kilometers on a mission.
That's just like normal aviation.
That's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, no, exactly. Absolutely fantastic, frankly. We also spoke to a company which was very interesting, actually, which was regarding how you can actually fly when you're GPS denied, actually. And that's the next little interview I'm going to play. Well, I'm Sean from Geeksvana. Protrac, what is it? Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, Protrac is an Israeli software company in the field of computer vision, and what we're doing here in this wonderful exhibition is showcasing our video anchoring technologies, which can be very, very useful for all these wonderful flying platforms. We're doing several things, and I think that the most amazing and interesting thing that we provide is the ability to keep navigating without the need for GPS.
Crikey, okay.
So
very useful.
Yes, it is.
As many a flight I've taken where you're keeping an eye on that little satellite marker is so important.
Yes.
Okay, so how does it achieve it?
Well,
I realise there's lots of ones and zeros between between that question and the answer.
Yeah, well, you have to have 23 years of experience in the field, but basically we match video to a map, and that's video anchoring, and we know the location of each pixel and subpixel in the real world.
Yes.
Once you know that, you can calculate where that video was taken from. Once you do this throughout the flight, then you know the position of that platform each and every moment.
Absolutely.
And so you can use that along with your GPS and or INS systems, other navigation systems, but when they stop functioning or they're blocked or spoofed or whatever, then you can rely on us to keep that positioning ability.
So things like surveys, that type of thing. I'm thinking of drones like the Helios 2 and that type of thing, which is always flying in a GPS denied environments and flying regularly as well, because of course you have power plants and all sorts of critical infrastructure where drone inspections are very important. But of course, keeping GPS security when you're flying between very critical infrastructure isn't always the easiest thing in the world to do. So that of course becomes a hurdle to use drones, where, as you're saying, because you would build a map of that power plant or of that area, then the drone can switch to the GPS denied software and still be able to complete the mission. I think that's excellent.
Yes, we don't have to build the map while it's possible. We also build mosaics while flying. That's another capability. But you can use any downloaded map of standard format from the internet, and we can use that. So it's very flexible, very dynamic. And yes, you can use that in almost any environment, I think. I think that there will be some regulations about restricted airspace that you will not. But if you don't have GPS, then you will never know that you're entering that restricted airspace.
That's
and
right.
That's a danger.
Yes, indeed, absolutely. But so essentially, it is also real world matching. So if you had a decent Google Earth download and you're flying through that area, your software will match the two to tell the drone where it is.
Exactly.
That's phenomenal.
Thank you.
that really is that's fantastic. The amount of because it's real time.
Yes.
The amount of security that gives, also from the point of view of beyond visual line of sight flights as well. You're not, if a drone is a mile and a half away, you're no longer worried about it definitely being in GPS coverage, because it can find its way home and complete its mission by itself, basically.
So
very clever.
Thank you. If the drone is fully autonomous and is not operated by a person, then it will be able to come back even without GPS, and that's a huge advantage.
Yes, and of course, us as drone flyers, we are. We always like to be in control and behind the sticks, but when we are talking about inspections and precision and that type of thing, of course, autonomy it really is the way forward from that point of view. And to have that autonomous drone syncing the two in real time, I think that is superb. So well done. That's an amazing product. So it's called Protrac.
Yes, it is.
How can people find you?
Protrac.co.il, and we'll take it from there.
Excellent. Amazing. Now,
Yeah.
one of the things you might know about when you come to these shows, you get little goodie bags and you get things handed out to you. We are now at the pinnacle of such things because we have been handed little tiny triangular things by Silotech. Thank you, Silotech. Shout out.
Silotech, thank you.
M&Ms.
Yeah.
It's cool because we haven't had any lunch yet. We've been so
No
busy.
lunch whatsoever. I'm starving.
There's also some conversation in the chat regarding the fact that you're looking a bit tired.
I'm not surprised I look tired. I haven't stopped today.
You're kind of bringing back the Dubai look
I'm bringing back the Dubai look.
from the Dubai shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a very quick shout out to Ken Heron for his $5 super chat. Thank you. Look at Sean with his fancy mic. You leave me and my mic out of this. And Philip Koshat, thank you very much for the $5 super chat as well. I really do appreciate it. But that particular product, it fascinated me because we're talking about being able to basically bring the drone's video in with mapping, and then you'll know where the drone is without the need for GPS, essentially. He was saying there's obviously issues regarding geofencing, which is a challenge for them, which they need because, of course, you don't know where it is live. So technically that drone could just, from a regulation point of view, could just fly off into a like restriction zone, which is a shame. And obviously an issue for them. But when you look at things like the Helios 2 and those type of things with the inspection drones, when you're looking at power plants, that type of thing, you could make a mosaic, a detailed map basically, and be able to, fly regular inspection flights without the worry of losing GPS signal when you're between two large stacks on a chemical plant or something.
Yeah, I know, and it's also processing power when you're actually processing that data. So doing separate amounts of data where you might have to join everything on. But if you do that one mission, which can, and not lose, but keep everything together, it's more balanced, it's more accurate, and it's, it's better for the company. So.
Now we've seen some other companies as well. We are now reaching that time of the day where things are starting to very much wind down.
Yeah.
I bring in the live shot here. You can actually see that people are actually starting to take the whole thing down, which is a bit of a shame, isn't it? It's been a busy couple of days, but now it's all starting to come to an end. It is a shame. I'm going to go around and see if anybody wants me to help them carry their £150,000 drones to their car, so that
I think Hanu might want some help carrying his air HUD.
Yeah, but I need to go and get myself a 150k drone to
150K
to fly it with.
Good luck flying that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, but yeah, it's been an enjoyable time. Now, as I said, we've got some more videos coming up on Geeksvana. There'll be another live show to review the DroneX and give you some more behind the scenes footage, but also a few more interviews with the people who have been on display here. We've also got that CAA interview coming up as well, which was very interesting with Jonathan Nicholson. Quite a few things came up there, which I think the audience would be of interest. I've managed to stick to the points that the hot topics, things like takeoff and landing, sea labels here in the UK, etc., and across the EU. So that's going to be an interesting one. But yes, so this was our second in-person stream.
Second one, and certainly not our last.
Which is awesome. And we obviously had the three amigos together yesterday completely as well.
Yeah, and I got lots of abuse.
Yes.
And it seems to be continuing on the chat here as well, I see.
Indeed, exactly.
My hair has got some abuse as well. I look tired. Yeah, well, it's called hard work. So.
Yeah, exactly, indeed. But yes, as I say, thank you very much for joining us. It was just a quick show today to bring you a few of the exhibits which have been happening here, which have been absolutely fascinating, and also catch up with Ian in London as well. It's always good to see him. But we'll see you next time on Geeksvana Live. And as I say, keep an eye out for that CAA interview. It's a really interesting one. Goodbye, guys.
Bye, Steve.